Well, it's a funny story because when I grew up, my grandfather told me that you should not be a musician, he said. Because he said my father was a musician and he was always touring. He was never home. So I didn't like that, he told me. And his father, my great grandfather, died in the 60s, before I was born. And so I knew that he existed, and I knew that his brother Leopold existed. I knew that he had composed music, but I didn't know what he had done, because the music was not where I was not in Sweden or Denmark. So when I started studying at the Royal Danish Academy of Music, one day my teacher came into my lesson and said, "Today I was in the library and I was reading about your family." And I said, "Wow, that's fantastic." I thought, if you can read about them in the library in Copenhagen, maybe you can read about them in every library. And I thought, I really need to check that. So I decided to go to Switzerland to look at the music. So I asked my grandfather, "Where is this music?" And he said, "Let's go together." And so we did, and we came into a room in an archive outside Basel in Switzerland. And they opened several cupboards and said, "Here is the music." And suddenly I was standing in front of this music, this life's work by a composer from my family. And the first book that I got out from the shelf was an opera of 500 pages, everything handwritten, very small orchestration of a complete piece. And I was immediately impressed by that. And I decided to invest in this music. I wanted to understand this music. So I ordered copies of the music, and I started studying it. And it took me several years. Yes, because it's not so often that you find a composer who has written 252 works, and you cannot hear anything in a recording, nothing. And he had performances like we spoke about with Berlin Philharmonic and New York Philharmonic. So he had a big career. And so I thought I have to look into this. And for many years I have studied his music in order to know what he wanted with his music. Because normally we have a connection. We know that it has gone through these hands of musicians, and we can see how they solve the problems inside a piece or so. But this is all new ground for us. It's completely new. So and it's very exciting. It's very interesting to understand this composer for the first time. So I started to play his music, and I recorded a few CDs. These are, at the moment, I started recording this CD, which is cello music, and I then recorded this CD with chamber music, piano trio, and duo sonata for cello and violin. And this CD got Record of the Year, or on the list 5 records of the year in America by a newspaper. And we decided to make this first recording of the symphony. Did all I could. I took all this. I took this manuscript and I put everything in the computer. A full symphony that's 500,000 marks or something like that. And then we recorded it, and this is the reason why we are here today.